Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 here in the pristine, untouched wilderness of the Calmlands. So I'm not sure about that, because obviously the straw does start to rot down when it becomes manure anyway, so you get less volume. Yeah, you do mix it in with the slurry a bit from the cattle, so that sort of helps, and you can take that into account. So I'll take a look at it and I'll see exactly what the numbers are, but I was sort of interested in that one because one of the things that's quite difficult to do with this game is to get enough slurry and manure in order to be able to spread it on your fields, and I don't really want to be struggling like that with it. I would like to be able to have plenty to throw all over the fields on a decent amount of the stuff. And I am wondering about this loan. Like, I did do a quick test run after people were saying, look, the loan payments are going to be prohibitively expensive and it is just going to bog us down so much it's going to spoil the series. I did do a test and it was about 8,000, I think, for 1 month, which is quite possibly too much. So it does depend on what I can get for the game cartridges. I mean, maybe the game cartridges is the answer, and that way I've still got the loan. The interest payments aren't going to be quite so steep. So in theory, I could still keep the loan, so I've still got to be paying it off. But there was quite a lot of you that were, you know, saying that yes, you do like the fact that I have stuck to my guns and I've said I had to have the loan because I went over my time limit, but equally I don't think I had anybody saying yes, go for the loan. And I'm kind of like, if it's 8,000 per month, then yeah, we're going to be it's going to be pretty much impossible to deal with unless we've got a lot of trees that we can cut down. And really want to spend the entire series chopping down trees. I mean, yes, it'll be good to cut down some trees. We can make a bit of money with that. But I don't want to spend all of my time cutting down trees chasing the loan payments. That's going to sort of take away, it's going to subtract from the series a bit, isn't it? And that was the main concern that was voiced in the comment section after the last series was kind of wrapped up. Chasing these loan payments is potentially going to spoil what could be a really nice series. So I'm taking all of this into account. I'm being quite careful about this, and I'm definitely not going to commit. We're gonna have to just move that one out of the way, I think. Probably best. Let's chuck you over there and let's try that again, shall we? So I'm not going to commit to necessarily doing everything, sticking with this loan. I'm thinking either I go for the game cartridges and I aim to get those and use those to cover our loan payments, but yeah, I don't really like the idea of the free money just turning up like that with the game cartridges. I'd prefer not to use those if possible. So the other option that I'm thinking of is I get rid of the loan. We'll do 1 month. We'll go forward 1 month, and we will see what damage it does. See if it is actually 8,000 or if I've got that bit wrong. I think it is 8,000. And then what I might do is I might get rid of the loan, and instead, because at the moment I don't have a goal for this series, I was just kind of like leaving it open-ended without running any particular goal. So what I could do instead is, rather than having a $5 million loan as the goal, you know, I've got to pay that off, and like there wasn't really any particular goal for the series. The goal for the series is to have 5 million euros in, I keep saying $5 million. $5 million euro dollars. The aim of the series will be to have 5 million euros in the bank account. That could be a good compromise, I feel. So I still have to pay that penalty because I technically didn't finish my series on time, even though a number of you pointed out that, you know, the final episode is allowed to be longer, and none of my episodes went over 30 minutes, and it was actually under, so if you take that into account as well, yada, 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 we're then at the point where I can say, oh, look, okay, yeah, we don't technically need to have the loan, but to me, that doesn't feel right. So, that's my alternative solution, is to say we won't have the loan, but instead the series goal will be 5 million euros in the bank account. So I'll be interested to see your opinions on this. As I've said before, I'm not putting anything to a hard and fast question on anything in this series. You specifically told me that you don't want me to do that. You want me to run this my way, so that's how I'm going to do it. But I am curious to see what people think of these different things. So I'm still going to be asking your opinions. Even though it is me that will be making the final decision on it all, I'm going to be still asking opinions. I still like to know what people think about these things. So this time, I'm curious. Do you think I should try and stick with this loan? We don't know yet. I've still got a lot of work to do before we can even go and test. I was wondering about mowing a little piece over there, but I don't think we'll do that. Do I stick with the loan, or do I go with attempting having an end goal for the series of 5 million euros in our bank account? I think 5 million euros in the bank account is sort of an achievable goal as well. I quite like this idea. Now, we've almost finished doing the baling. Once we've done that, we can go and gather everything up. And yes, admittedly, at the moment, the hay is not fetching the highest price. 76 there, and at the moment it's at the very, very lowest point that it can possibly be, down at 62. But if we want to be able to get any money out of this, we kind of need to ignore that and sell it anyway. And I am going to say that I cannot store hay or straw or anything else outside. I do quite often say, look, we're storing it outside, we're just going to pretend that we've sheeted it down. This time, I'm going to say, no, I can't do that. If I don't have a barn to store it in, I have to sell it off the field. Hay, straw, anything, silage, yeah, we can store that outside. That's fine. Doesn't matter if you store silage outside. You wouldn't generally store silage bales inside anyway. So that's going to be something that I'm going to do this time. If I don't have barn space to store my feed or straw, then I have to sell it straight off the field. End of. There's no discussion for that. It just has to be sold straight off the field, or it goes into a barn. Now, I do have barns over there. I do have some sheds. I could go and put the hay. I could load, put it into the sheds. But that would mean I'd have to push my machinery outside and keep the machinery in the rain, which is also something that I'm not allowed to do this series. I have allowed myself a little bit of leeway to start with on this series, in that I've bought a load of machinery and I'm allowing myself to store it outside until I get my first sheds built. But that was the limit. I will allow myself one more thing. Only one. Just one more item I will allow myself on this series to go to be stored outside before I have to have sheds in order to store everything. And that is a cheap tractor. I want a second tractor so that I can be doing two jobs at once. So that we can use hired help and we do two jobs at once. And I will allow one more tractor to be bought. And it will be a cheap one, whichever cheap one I can find. I don't really care which cheap tractor it is, but we will do something. It'd probably end up being like the John Deere that we used in the last series, although I'm not really sure about that. I think maybe we should try to use something a bit different. So that's kind of those plans. However, I don't want to be spending money on a tractor at the moment. I want to get the mill, and that's 20,000. If I can get the mill, then we can turn any grain that we make into flour, which will ultimately end up making us more money. Now, I also really like the idea of making hay up here, but this one, I'm thinking that this needs to be an arable field. Making the hay is going to make us some money, but I feel that the arable will end up making us more money, and also we're not then going to be just constantly making mowing and making hay, because this baling is taking quite a long time. I'm very conscious of the fact that I've been doing this for quite a... This is... what are we on? We're probably almost a complete episode just using this baler, and I don't want to be doing that. That's not really what we want. If I was doing time-lapse, if I time-lapsed this instead, then yeah, that would be a bit different. But this isn't time-lapse, this is a hardcore series, and the thing with a hardcore series is that I'm supposed to show everything, although I have already said with this one I'll possibly do some sections of it behind the scenes, just to let it move along a little bit faster. Not lots of it, though. Most of it is all going to be on the screen. That's kind of like the whole point of the series. It's what a lot of you like to see. You like to have me doing all of the work on screen so that you can see it all happening. Right, well, that's that bit done. Right there. It does mean that I have to spend ages and ages just yammering away into the microphone, talking about whatever springs to mind, while I do the different jobs that I'm doing in the fields. And some of you like that. Well, I'm assuming that anybody that watches more than 4 or 5 episodes of mine likes that. Because there's plenty of people that don't do lots of yammering into the microphone that people watch. So if you're watching my content, then part of it will be me just randomly talking about whatever springs to mind at the time. See, this bit right here, we've got like a triangle right here that we can do stuff with, and I'm sort of thinking that we will end up ploughing that up, and that could be done for grass. Like, we could do that for grass, so that we're still doing some grass. I'll be wanting to do crops in the fields that are going to give us straw, so that we can sell the straw straight off the field, and then we can also sell hay off the fields from the other bits. Now, I'm sure I said before that I was going to do that up there for grass, so that we do that repeatedly, but having baled it once, I'm thinking trying to do that twice per year is just foolhardy. I don't want to be doing that, so I'm not going to. Now, how many bales did I... Is there a bale counter? I'm sure I had a bale counter. I know what I can do. If I go into here... No, not that one. That one. Bales produced 121. Right, we've got 121 bales at the moment. This one takes 153. So we will get all of the bales on here, and we'll go and sell them. So I very much doubt that we're going to get 17,000 euros worth of bales, which means I'm not going to be able to get my mill just yet. Let's bring you on down this way, and we... Right, I just need to switch to operating position for this one. So we'll switch operating position on like that, and we've got to go fairly close to the bale, I think. Oh, it's not too bad. I actually really like this one. I like the way that it loads. It doesn't just put the bales in odd positions. I mean, I'd said this before when we were using it the first time. I said that I really sort of like the fact that the person who designed this has either done quite a bit of research or has actually done this job themselves, because these bales are being loaded in the way that you would normally load small bales onto a trailer. Just the way they're being stacked. These are... I missed that one. You've got to get reasonably close to them then. But this is something that I appreciate about this trailer. I like this. Not getting very many at the moment. No. I want to get close enough to get the outside ones, and then we can worry about the next layer in a minute. We'll just keep driving around in circles. Like this. Quite looking forward to getting started with the plough. See, I like starting the jobs. I just don't like sitting there for hours and hours, carrying on. Like, it's alright when it's, like, time-lapsed, and I know that it's being time-lapsed, because then I don't have to worry about it so much, but I sort of start to get very conscious of the fact that people are going to get bored with watching if I'm just doing the same job for ages and ages, and that's the bit that I'm not so keen on. I don't really want to be having people get really bored to tears with what I'm doing. So we've got a couple layers right there. Now we're starting on the next layer, the forward bit. What we've got at the moment is about as high as you'd be able to reach. So you do that first, and then once you've done that, then you start working on the next bit, and then we've done the next layer there, so then we can stand on that and then start chucking the bales up a little bit higher. See, this is really cool. I don't remember if this one had the bales able to be strapped onto the trailer or not. I don't think it did. Though, to be honest, I think that would cause a massive amount of lag. We'll run up through here. We're picking these bales up at a surprising speed. We got a team of people galloping along the ground, absolutely flat out, picking everything up here. And they're doing an absolutely wonderful job of it. So there we go. We've got the tie-in bales on the top now. Just finishing out those last ones. They tie in like that. And let's go back this way, shall we? On round that way. I mean, I do like this. It would be nice if we could maybe adjust our small baler to go a bit faster. But then in real life, small balers, they go quite a bit slow. You know, a big baler, you can really shovel the stuff in. With a small baler, because of the small shape of the bale and so on, you can't really stuff it in like you can with a big baler. Not with a, or you know, big square baler or a big round baler. You can't stuff it in at the same rate. The old big balers, they definitely used to be slower than the ones that we have now. But even those you could run quite a bit faster than you could a small baler. A small baler is just never going to be able to whiz along a row quite as quickly as a brand new baler. Okay, so it gets to that point right there, and I want to go to transporting position, and then it's unload bale. So I don't have straps on this one. We don't have any straps on it, so we're just going to have to leave it like this. And now we got to drive it straight up to the sell point. So we'll come out here onto our track, and then we'll take it up to the sell point, and we will sell these bales. So we're definitely not going to get the amount of money that we'd really like to get for this. The amount of money that we'd like to get is 20,000, but I believe I was talking about buying a log fork. We've already got a front loader. We can buy a log fork and we can buy a small logging trailer, both of which are viable options. And then we can use that to cut down some trees, which will in turn generate a bit more money for us, and that should allow us to buy the mill. And we want to do that before we skip the night, because skipping the night is going to end up costing us 8,000 euros, which we don't want to do. Now, where did I need to go for this? I can't remember now. So let's have a look. Animal dealer. Right, it's that animal dealer one over there. So I think I need to go this way. We've got this road up this way. Yes, this was the one. Because it's that one right there. You've got the animal pens over that side. And then this one here. So I bring this in like this, and we'll stop here. So we'll go unload Y and press Y again, and then they'll just put them onto the trailer like that. 5,265 euros. It's a lot of work for a massive amount of return. I gotta admit, I'm a little bit disappointed. I mean, yes, I was kind of expecting not to get a huge amount of money, but at the same time, 5,000. If we were to skip the night right now, we'd end up, we would have nothing. There'd be nothing left. But what we do have now is we should have enough money to be able to go and get the bit that we want for the forestry. So it was in here. Like, we can't afford anything like that, and we can't afford a stump grinder at the moment. Have I got the Lumberjack mod? It gives you the super strength bit. Super strength. I do, which means that I can chainsaw and I can remove stumps without having to get a stump grinder. That's the bit that I like about it. I'm not sure about that. I might say that I do actually have to use a stump grinder to get rid of the stumps. Seems like it would be a better option, but I don't necessarily have to want to do that. Oh, that's a different planter. I see. What should we use? So we've got that one. It's that one there, that wood trailer there. That's one that we used previously, and I think that's going to be the best option for us. That's 3,000, that one is. I don't want that one. It's too small, and it's too awkward trying to load it. Like, if you haven't got if it's not attached to a vehicle, it's very difficult to try and load it. That one could be useful for dragging the logs up here, but I don't really want to do that either. Like, I've used that excuse before, saying, yes, we've got permission to drag them, but we can't realistically go and do that too many times. This one potentially could be good, but again, I think it's too small. So I think we'll go with this one, which is the one that we've used before. We used this in the last series. That was the main reason I was kind of reluctant to go and use it again, but I think that it might be the best option. So we've got standards, narrow tyres. I don't want narrow tyres. They don't look very narrow, to be honest. Right, they don't look narrow, but they look a little bit more heavy-duty there, and I'm thinking that maybe we should go with the heavy-duty. I mean, what else we got? We got Redestein there. Those are wider. They seem a little bit more substantial. I think we'll go with that. Yeah, we'll go with these. We'll go with these right here. So that's 3,800. We need to buy that one. Okay. And then we also need to buy front loader tools. We need a logging fork. So is that one for 3 grand. That one looks like one of those where that bit there, because it tucks inside this, we're not going to be able to pick up the small logs, and that's really just going to irritate me. That's the sort of thing that makes me want to rage quit. So we're not going to do that. This one, however, that looks like it comes down and meets there. It's got that pinch movement there. Looks like it comes down onto the end of that fork. That seems a lot better. Plus, it's a lot cheaper. 800. That's more like it. Oh, we've got that one there, which I think is one that we used before, but that's 3,000. I'd rather not spend that kind of money on it. And there's the standard log fork there, which was standard in the game previously. I never really particularly liked that one, though. So we're going to go with this new one over here. This Banderstein one, is it? Something like that. Where are you? Here. Banderanta. go with you. I don't know what you're going to be like, but you're only 800, so we'll give you a shot. Okay, so I've got those two. They're going to allow me to cut down some trees, which in turn I will then be able to sell, and I will be able to use that money to buy the windmill that I want to buy, which will allow us to grind our grain and turn it into flour, which will give us a better return than what we get at the moment. Now, if we can afford to buy a bakery later on, even better, because a bakery is going to get us a bit more money. So that would be even better still. I'm gonna... You know, I'm thinking that we should put a line around the outside edge of the field before we start doing anything up there. The fence can come over a bit closer to this road that we've built here. But alongside the main road, we want to keep it back kind of the distance that I've gone along the bottom edge here. So the top edge up... Yeah, obviously the top edge along the top. That needs to be a bit further away from the road. If I have that one a bit further away from the road, then we're definitely not going to be interfering with any of the collisions or anything up there, which is what I want. So we'll go and park this one just here. And yes, I'm well aware that I've gone and bought yet more machinery, which I said I wasn't going to do, but we've got no choice. We need to be able to build these items. We need to be able to get a source of income, so we've got to kind of, like, there's got to be a compromise on this. So let's leave the front weight right here. Drop that one down there. And then we can get our front loader on. It's got pallet forks over there. We'll use lime. When we're able to buy a lime spreader, we will use lime. That bag of fertilizer right there, we will never use it. At least that's my plan. I don't want to ever actually use that bag of fertilizer. So we'll run back up to the shop a minute. So the other thing we've got to decide is what trees we're going to cut down. I don't want to just go through and hack down every tree that we've got here. Certainly not these. Unfortunately, folks, that is all we have got time for today. A massive thank you to everybody who has earned their way into the Great Book of Names. To find out some more details about all the names coming past, please head into the description and click on the link to the Discord. It's a link to another video. The link is on the other video. Please also consider checking out the links there for Nitrado, who provide gaming servers for games like Farming Simulator, Minecraft, Ark, and several others. And there's also Fanatical, who will help support your gaming habit by providing you with cheap games and also giving me a small commission on anything that you buy using my link. If you've enjoyed this particular video, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.